it turned out that 3 out of the 7 of us ended up without any electricity, but people were still on the Zoom. So one of whom was Jenny. And so she was in the dark the whole time, but she was able to do it because her husband showed her how to make her phone a hotspot,
Mm-hmm.
which I've never tried, so I can't say that I don't know how to do it, but if there's an easy way to show us.
Yep, that's an easy thing. I don't know if you guys remember early in the pandemic, I had to do the same thing Jenny did. The power went out in my place in the middle of tech time and we shut down the whole meeting and
Hmm.
had to reconnect a hotspot. So um the easiest thing to do, let me connect to my phone so you can see my phone. Oh, let's shut that down. And so if you go to your settings here on your phone,
Yeah, which I'm,
and there should be under cellular, do you see the personal hotspot?
yeah.
So if you click that,
Mm-hmm.
this is your personal hotspot listing.
Right.
So if you go to your computer, say, or the device that you would like to connect to on your device. So say we share this screen here. And do you see, if you click on the Wi-Fi, it says Lynn George iPhone, maybe?
No. Well, it says
Do
you can connect using Wi-Fi. I choose iPhone from the Wi-Fi settings or other device,
Mhm.
or you can connect using Bluetooth or USB. So are you connecting using Wi-Fi?
Do you see what all the Wi-Fi options I have when I click the little Wi-Fi icon up at the top?
No.
Like Curious George and all that.
Yes, you should see my mouse, Lynn George's phone, Curious George,
Yep.
Xfinity.
Mhm.
So right
Mhm.
now I'm
I
connected
don't see
to,
any of that, but
I don't either.
interesting,
I don't see any of that.
weird.
Yeah.
Under our
So
pictures,
under screen, is my screen over to the left? Do you see my whole screen?
I don't see
Yes.
anything right now of you.
I see the whole screen.
I don't
yeah,
see
I do
anything.
too.
I get nothing.
I see everything.
Now I
Okay,
see a screen that says, whoops. It just disappeared. That disappeared. Oh,
Now I see
So-
your whole screen.
it says live, live, laugh, surf.
great. Do you see the top menu bar with the little clock?
Yes.
Hold on.
We're at the very top of it with the little Apple icon,
Yep.
Zoom US.
You have meeting, view, edit, window, yes.
Okay, so if you go to your Wi-Fi connection, you know how to connect to all your different Wi-Fis? Yes?
Well, aren't they always connected because it's the same sign in and all that?
Yes. So right now you should see that I'm connected to my personal Wi-Fi, which I happen to label Curious George. So if you click on yours, you would see
Doesn't say that though.
yours would be whatever Wi-Fi you're connected to. Yes? On your I or
On my phone or my computer?
your laptop
Well, I
or your
can't do
iPhone.
that and watch you at the same time.
Well, your computer will be probably the same icon.
Yeah, well,
And
let me get rid of the people up here. All right, minimize all of you.
you should be able to click on it over top of
Oh, I
ours.
see Curious George now. Well, we were all on top of you. our photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you see under Wi-Fi, there's a personal hotspot option?
It's probably under where it says talking to Connie Amond. Is
Do you
that,
need to click the Zoom app again to see my screen?
no, I've got your screen. I've got Wi-Fi settings at the very bottom. And then I've got other networks and moving up Xfinity, Curious George, and then there's something else that's underneath a little black box that says I'm talking.
Okay. So we need to move whatever it says.
It's just one little. Yeah, here, okay, I knew it. Okay, now I've got Lynn George, personal hotspot, Lynn George iPhone.
Yay.
Yay.
So if your Wi-Fi were to go out, you would have no connection here. It'd be very confused. And if your hotspot is on your phone on, you should see Connie Amon iPhone or something similar. And if you click that, it will switch over to
Hmm,
your hotspot
okay.
because you live in Apple universe where you have both an Apple phone and an Apple computer. It should
Mhm.
just automatically sync.
Okay,
But if you go back to your phone, there's a Wi-Fi password
yes, I see it.
that you could click on and type that number. Or if you're with a group of people and everybody
Allow others
wants
to join, right.
they can click on your name and then do that. I know Ted Strand has done that at church a couple times
Hmm,
for our Tuesday fellowship group.
okay,
But that's how you could connect to a hotspot if you
Right.
lose power. Another great option to use a hotspot would be if you're traveling and you don't want to rely on the Wi-Fi in the airports or the hotels or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a more secure, not public Wi-Fi connection. The
Good.
disadvantage with hotspots is it does use your cellular data. So if you don't have unlimited cellular data, it could drain a lot, especially if you're streaming movies or something. It could be
Yeah.
sucking a lot of your data. If
Isn't
that
it also true that some phone providers limit how much hotspot data you can use, even if you have unlimited data?
I had not heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised by that. So we would
Yeah.
need to look up each provider's information.
Yeah, I thought I saw that recently somewhere, but I couldn't tell you where
Mm.
when I was fiddling around on my iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I could definitely see that. We just would so look up your own personal provider, whether it's AT&T, Comcast, T-Mobile,
Right.
Verizon. But it's good for a pinch, like you have to attend something.
A Zoom meeting and I.
Yes. I was quite proud when I heard Jenny did that, so.
Mhm. It was very funny. Then we subsequently had another leave and then another one. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. Good question, especially as we approach winter weather season.
Right.
Any other questions about hotspots and things like that before we move on? Does that make sense to everyone? Bob shaking his head like, I don't know.
I took notes.
Okay. And yours might be a little bit different, Bob, since you have an Android phone, but that would be if Jean were to use hers.
I think Jean is soon to arrive. She's been cleaning up some mess from the camels.
Mm.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
Camels. You can't take them anywhere.
What are they, milk duds?
But while you're waiting there, I can tell you support unlimited data at 3G speeds with a set amount of high-speed data.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's good to know. Nancy, we're talking about hotspots, and how to connect to them in case your Wi-Fi goes out with the power or something. Um,
hmm.
so depending on your carrier, it might limit your data, but Connie was just saying T-Mobile lets you have it just with a lower quality. 3G is not going to be as fast as other higher ones like 4G or 5G.
You know, I keep my data off unless I know I don't have Wi-Fi. And I've noticed when I turn it on, because there's no Wi-Fi, it immediately says it's 5G. And if I don't have that on, it doesn't say 5G. I mean, so I don't know, is it just going 4G on regular cell phone stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's probably also depending where you are, what's the best in the area to connect to. Depending on what towers and things are near you. But good question.
They finally do have service down on the Eastern Shore
Oh, good.
most of the time.
God.
Yeah, well,
I
Now that
remember,
Yeah, now that it's winter and you don't go down there, but that's all right.
Why you have it now.
Yep, yep. So I can't go hide.
no,
no excuses.
you can run, but you can't hide.
Right.
Um, anything else you guys want to?
Lynn, I have a follow-up question to our email conversation this week.
Mm-hmm.
You had said about when we were in Florida, we could print at Staples.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I assume there's a fee to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And secondly, do I need to go into the Staples first and set up an account? Or how do I find out where to send the document that I want to print?
So for those of you who haven't heard Chuck's question, he would like to learn how to print things, if he's not traveling.
Remotely, yes, right.
Yeah.
So Kinko's and different places like that allow you to print things. And I've done like I did it, but it's been years and years and years. But if we take Staples, for example, same day printing, say, and you can do same day printing, pick
One
up.
important thing is you have to make sure you're at the right store.
Right, you would want to. I think you can also bring in a USB and plug it into a machine there and do it that
Okay.
way. I think it's a couple cents per thing, 20 cents
Page.
per page.
Yeah.
So and Kinko's might be different than Best Buy, or I don't know if Best Buy does it. I've never tried it at Best Buy.
You can do that at most public libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. But if you're staying at a hotel, a lot of hotels have a business center that provide
Yeah.
a printer.
We're renting a house, so there's not going to be a printer there, and I don't really want to bother with taking one with me, even though they're smaller nowadays. I don't want to have that to pack and take along and possibly get damaged along the way, one way or the other.
Mhm.
So I was just hoping to find some options on where I can print down there at a reasonable price. I don't expect to be printing a lot of things, but I think Bev is going to be paying some bills down there online, and she's going to want to print out receipts.
Mhm.
So I'll make sure I pack a flash drive. I have a 32 gig one. I think that should be plenty big enough.
Mhm.
What
I have another
option-
suggestion for you. Why don't you just take a print screen of the receipt, save it in your photos and print them out when you get home?
We've talked about that.
You can also print to PDF and save the file on your computer and not generate any paper at all.
Okay, then print it later.
And then you can print it later.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
need to print it, I mean, that's not paperwork reduction when you do that.
But yeah, print to PDF is very handy.
I've used that for other things, but yeah, I got that.
Yeah, and if you're doing financial stuff, I would be hesitant to print that in public spaces too. Not that, somebody might, it doesn't really matter. But there is that one-off, one in a blue moon. But Bob's suggestion of the library is a great one that
Yeah.
I get about those resources.
I'm not sure how close we're gonna be to one where we're staying, but we can look into that once we get there.
Mm-hmm. And there might be community centers or other places like that that have that option too.
Okay.
You just need to do some research.
And how long are you gonna be gone? And are you gonna stay coming with us, or are you gonna hide away from us?
We're gonna be there a month. Middle of February to the middle of March.
Oh,
Transfer it to their Apple Wallet and use it that way.
I don't use my Apple Wallet. I've never used it for anything. Well, that's
I
not
haven't
true.
either.
I used it for one ticket we were going somewhere, had to do, but
Mm-hmm. Apple Wallet is amazing. I can't imagine a life without it anymore. But let me see. I don't know if I can pull up anything. Oh, yes, I can. I can show you. Each airline is going to be a little bit different, but and same if you go to concerts, or if you do, actually, that's not what I want to share. If you do concerts or any kind of other thing like that, if you attended the Christmas concert and weren't singing in it, you could use your Eventbrite thing in the app. So one thing that I have that we can use as an example, I'm going to be taking a train up to New York City. So if you go to your thing, so if you do a plane type thing, they might have a link or something, and you might get something similar to this.
Right.
And if you go to, say, details, there's usually a button down here somewhere on the screen that says add to Apple Wallet.
Yes.
right.
And if you click that, it will say, do you want to add this? And then you just at that top right corner, hit that to your Apple Wallet.
Does Amtrak stop in Paoli?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Exton, different Downingtown.
So you don't have to change trains.
No. And the nice thing about the Philly line to New York, you can stay on that train and then it will, stop at 30th Street and then take you up to New York. But then if you, David, go to the Apple Wallet, which is this one here,
Yep, been on there.
and
Okay.
then you can click on it and you'll see all of the tickets and things you've got, which here are the Amtrak. So that day when I go on the train, they'll just scan this.
What else would I use it for besides transportation tickets and concerts and stuff? Is there any other uses that you use it for?
So
Credit
you
cards
can
in there?
see I've got my State Farm
credit
insurance here. I've got my giant customer card to scan, so I don't
Right.
have to pull out the card every time.
Mhm.
I've got some gift cards like Starbucks here.
That's a lot of coffee.
People keep giving me Starbucks gift cards and I don't go nearly as often as I used to. It's terrible. I'm like, guys, I love you, but yes, no more Starbucks gift cards, please.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys use Apple Wallet for credit cards. You can add your credit cards. You can see I've got some here. But it's much more secure. They're all encrypted if you use Apple Wallet. For your things, you just touch whether it's your phone, you just touch it on the card reader, or if you've got a watch, you can double click and attach it and it goes. And it's encrypted. If you have the physical card, some of them now, you can just touch it and it does the same thing. But I love I've got a watch because I'm a tech nerd, and I just love that I can just tap my watch on this card reader and it just goes. But yeah, so there's a lot of different things, more and more. There is talk about licenses, state licenses going to be there. I know California has started rolling that out. At some point, I'm guessing passports might be that way too. So we'll see.
Yeah, one travel tip is basically in your photo sections, take copies of your driver's license
Yeah.
or your passport
Mhm.
or your credit cards for that matter, just so you have it in case you lose, they're stolen or lost.
Mhm.
Of course, what happens when you lose your phone?
Then you're in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, right.
Does Android have something similar?
Yes, they do.
Not that I
Um,
want to use it though.
I think it's called Google Wallet, if I remember correctly. Stephen, am I making that up?
Blah, blah, Android can work.
Yes, Google Wallet.
Yeah, I never used it, don't know. Samsung phones have a Samsung wallet too.
Mm-hmm. So, um,
Thank you.
you can see in my Apple Wallet, I've got some expired passes, so you can see what I've used them for. So I've got some Ticketmaster concert events. I've got airline flights. I got a couple coupons and things. So, there's just more and more of that kind of stuff coming on. If you ever use Groupon, I know they do stuff that way too. So
I thought Groupon had gone the way of whatever.
it still exists.
And one suggestion, David said talking about taking pictures of your, passports, credit cards, etc. But they should go in your hidden album, should they not?
They should.
Not that I've done it, but I know I should.
Yep. In your hidden section, and if you can add a password, that's even better. But because it is secure information, so if somebody steals your phone and breaks into your code, they don't have your entire life and can't steal your identity so much.
Mhm.
Because that is a fear
Mhm.
of that as well. The other thing that it was in my Apple Wallet, and maybe it disappeared, my COVID card used to be here, the vaccination thing.
Right.
I have mine in
So,
my photos. Yeah.
you
How
don't
do
need
you
them
use,
anymore.
how do you use the hidden?
Right.
Good
folder on
question.
your phone. I have
Good.
it, but I don't have anything in there.
Good question. So,
And how do you even have it?
good questions. Let's see if I remember because I don't do this often enough. So, if you pull up a picture,
Mhm.
let's see if I can do this. I think it's under these three dots. Add to album.
Oh,
Yes.
what about
Right.
hide?
All right, I want to click on a picture and I want to do add to album.
Ah, there you go. You're right, Nancy. If you click hide, this photo will be hidden, but you can find it in your hidden album.
But I do want to click on add to album first.
Let's see if that's right.
Add to album.
I don't think so. I think you want to hit that
Nope.
hide button.
What's that button
What
again?
hide button?
Oh, hide. Okay.
So do you see above slideshow, it's the third one down,
Hide.
there's a hide button. And if
Nope.
you
Try again.
What did you click on to get to that?
do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
Go
at the
back.
top?
Do I have to click on a picture?
Yes. Pick a
Okay,
photo.
so I've got a picture up. Now where am I going from there?
The three
So
dots at the top.
the three dots
Oh, the three dots at the top. I missed that step. Okay, gotcha. Hide.
and then hide.
Yes.
And then, yes, I want to hide it.
Hide photo. Okay.
So now if you go to your albums, there should be hidden.
Hidden. And I have one thing in there. And I can bring it right up, but can't anybody else bring that up too?
Did you see mine just used my Face ID to unlock it?
Right.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's cool.
So I don't know if yours did that or if you have to put a code.
No, mine didn't do that.
So you can't get to it?
No, I
So
can
what
get to it. I
happens-
just click on hidden and it comes right up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
That's why I
Oh.
said, so if it's in hidden, but anybody gets my phone, they can still see anything that's in hidden.
If I remember correctly, back in the Photos app, you can turn on making your hidden album secure.
Under settings, Stephen?
Yeah, if you go to set, I think I remember doing this. I'm going there now.
Under settings, and I want to go to photos.
Photos.
Do you see Stephen is right. So if you scroll
Under
down,
photos, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
there's
under
a
photos.
use face ID.
Show hidden
option.
album is turned on.
Yeah, if you turn it on, then it'll use your Face ID to get into your hidden album.
If mine already was turned on and it didn't use my face ID.
Do you sign in with a
They-
Face ID?
Oh, do I have to turn on use face ID also?
Yes.
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 Face ID is required to view hidden and recently deleted albums.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll turn that on. Now let me go back into my photos. Photos, hidden. All right, there it used my face ID. Gotcha.
And does it have a little lock next to the hidden folders?
Yes,
That's because you're using Face ID to get into it.
gotcha. So right now I've got the lock beside hidden and recently deleted. And everything else I can get into without using face ID.
Correct.
But you had to set up the Face ID, right? At some point. I haven't
My
done that.
guess, yeah.
That's set up to get in my phone. To even
Yeah.
open my phone.
Lynn, I answered an iPhone question.
I know.
I'm so
that's
proud
good.
of you.
Very
Yeah.
good, Stephen.
Oh,
Okay. All right, so if I have a passcode to get into my phone, would I be able to use that to get into the hidden photos too, instead of a Face ID? If that's my entrance to my phone,
I would assume so,
I'll check.
but I
it.
can't say that for a fact. But since you have a Samsung, it's probably going to be slightly different.
Okay.
And there may not even be a hidden photos folder on an Android phone. I don't remember.
You've got a Samsung, yes?
Yes,
But if you use the same ID or the same passcode, if somebody can break into your phone, then they'd have automatic
Right.
connection into your hidden photos. So what would be the purpose of hiding them?
Well, if they didn't know how they got in, like if it was accidental that they got into your phone somehow. And then we'd have to know it again, but you're right.
Well, and some, depending on what the person is trying to do, they might not think of going all that way. But again, it all depends on
Well,
what
and my
happens.
next question would be, is that I still haven't figured this out. On my phone, I have a gallery and I have Google Photos. And
Mhm.
everything I save goes into both. And I don't know how to delete it from one without deleting it from the other.
Mhm.
So I've got double everything. But at this point I didn't care, but
So you have two photos in both apps, so they're duplicate, or you have all the photos in the Photos app in Samsung, and then you also have it in Google Photos.
right. Second.
Okay.
In the last update, they decided to set them all up in albums. I didn't do with albums. They decided what should be in what albums. And so now I have a recent album and screenshots. So it's in there twice because it set up screenshots, and the recent one I do from Wordle every day. So that I haven't dealt with either. And then there's a WhatsApp one, and it's actually got 3 WhatsApps different. They just totally messed it up, but I don't know. Everything is, the stuff I want is in Google Photos, because then I can get to it on my computer. But
Mhm.
if I erase it from their gallery, it gets erased from Photo Google, so then it gets erased from my computer.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Real interesting.
Going to have
But-
to do some research on that one for you.
Yeah, well, and I'm afraid to try anything because once you've done it and it didn't work, then you
Well,
lost it.
take a stupid picture that, you're never gonna want to keep as a sample and then play with that one.
But the point is it a picture that I took? Is it a picture that someone emailed me? Is it a picture that something I emailed to someone else? They're all in there, and I don't know if that makes a difference too. So anyway, but if that's my biggest problem, I'm okay. It isn't,
Oh.
But yeah, I would say with Connie, yeah, try taking a photo of, the carpet or something. And, then I took this photo, and if I deleted here or there,
but some of the photos that people send me automatically go into my album, and some of them don't. And I haven't figured out what the difference with that is either.
so
No,
it's not
I
like
have
you
to-
save their
Yeah,
photo.
I know it'll go if I save it, but some of them that I didn't mark saved still went.
Hmm.
I don't know what the problem. And it
Aren't
could,
computers fun?
yes.
No.
Do they share the folder with you? I know some people
No.
have shared photos
No.
with me, and that's happened.
No.
Hmm.
So that's all right.
But to answer your original question, Nancy, it looks like there is a hidden
Right.
edit in the gallery, so there are instructions here.
Yeah,
Under
and that
our
would be good to know if you wanted to put your driver's license or something in there, but
Mhm.
very good. Incidentally, I did get a notice from my ex-mortgage company. I mean, I've paid off my house, that they were hacked, or whatever the word was they used. But the only information that they got was my name, address, phone number, email, date of birth, and social security number.
Oh, that's
No, is there
all.
anything else?
Big
Oh.
deal.
Well, they didn't
basically-
give your voice part inquire.
Well, and they didn't give my cell phone number, because I don't give up my cell phone number to anybody other than friends. I mean, I don't, so they didn't have that, but but yeah, it's and then, so how do I know that the letter is not a false thing? Because it says contact this and that and everything. So I did what I've been taught, is I took an old, way old, invoice or bill statement and called the phone number on that. And when they answered, they said, by the phone number you're calling from, I pulled up your record, and I'm thinking, okay, but I paid the mortgage off 3 years ago, so it's nice to know you still know me. And then they said, I forget if it went, and here this, but here again, this was all not a live person, but they
Mhm.
said, are you calling about the cyber attack? And of course I said yes, and then they parroted exactly which was on the letter. So it's still, but I figured that that's probably pretty true. I mean, that someone's not going to that extent to try to get me to give stuff. And actually, when I'm going to have to give is when I take their offer of a year of protection, then I probably have to give all that information. So I assume that's safe to do. Would you assume that? Because they also gave me a code number to put in that was in the letter, and that they told me that code number on the phone again. And if I understand them right, it's only for me, you know, that each person's is different, but I don't.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's one
fun.
of those, with those kind of things, I never call the number that's on the
Letter.
letter. I always look up the original.
That's what I did.
Okay. Because if
Exactly.
that's, and you talk to someone and it's consistent with their
But
story.
I didn't realize that I don't believe I was talking to a live person. I was talking to an AI.
Ah.
I mean, so, I don't know. We'll see. I might do it again and say, talk to a representative or something, and make them tell me that in person, but.
Is there a bank or
Talk to a
someplace
human.
physical, like a physical brick and mortar place you can go?
No.
No.
This mortgage company is called Mr. Cooper. It had some other name, and then to make it interesting or to make it more user friendly or something, they went by Mr. Cooper. But
Wow. Yeah.
Like Cooper or Hooper?
Cooper as in
Oh.
copper. Yeah, yeah, Cooper.
But
So
yeah, if it's a company like a physical bank or something, always go to the branch type place. But
yeah.
if that's an option, then
Well,
yeah.
you know, and you guys told me that before, but like if I have a Wells Fargo card, am I really in the Wells Fargo bank? I mean, can I go to a Wells Fargo bank, or is a credit card separate? No, it's not separate. Okay.
You should be able to go to the Wells Fargo bank
Okay.
and if they can't help you with that particular thing, they will point you to someone that can,
Yeah.
which is much more trustworthy than
Well,
that email.
because I know when I tried to call someone at Truist at the local bank to ask about something on the website, they couldn't answer that. You have to go to the website person for that, which is
Well, that's
to get a hold of them. So I don't know, you know, and it wasn't really a question about the website anyway. It was a question about what was showing up in the website. But they still just shooed me to the website people.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
because
it's
they
still good
heard
to,
website.
Right.
mm-hmm. But always good to double check with humans.
right.
If you can find one.
Lynn-
That's
Lynn,
the
can-
question.
Yeah.
Go
Can-
ahead, David.
Yeah, pardon me. Can I ask a simple retail question?
Of course.
I have an Apple 11 cell phone. There's now the 15 and so on.
Mhm.
Are the only real differences the quality of photographs and a longer charge on the new cell phones? What is the value added of moving up the chain to get a newer cell phone?
Any more? Oh, go ahead, Stephen.
Just check me on this, because this is where I believe the processors get better. So the phone should be faster and be more efficient at using the battery, which is part of why the batteries last longer. Is that accurate?
Yes. That I would say the biggest thing would be that is the processing power. which includes the speed, and then the battery will last longer. Just because everything just gets smarter and less of an issue. And at some point they'll stop giving you updates for the older models. I'm just looking up now to see what it is. But in the scheme of things, the, photo quality is definitely improved, but everything else is pretty much the same. The size is the same, but yeah. And I'm looking now at a side-by-side comparison for you of a 11 versus a 15, right? Which same height, same kind of machine. You've got an island with this one, which really isn't a real thing that you like. I wouldn't upgrade just for the island. It's a nice feature, but you don't need it. And as Steven said, the chip in the actual processing power is faster. And the memory engine is from 8 to 16. And then the cameras, as we said, are a little bit higher.
A little bit.
Just a little bit from yeah. Anybody want to do the math? I'm terrible at math.
400% better.
Yeah. And then so you've got some kind of crash detection things with the new ones, if that's something that is an issue for you. But there's also been issues where you go on a roller coaster and it reports that they could hear it a crash to Apple.
Or they fall 16,000 feet and survive.
Yes. Yes. Yes, and then you've got a couple more hours of battery life, and then a different kind of charging station. So you would need a different cable. But other than that, 4G to 5G. But in the scheme of things, it really doesn't, don't upgrade just for that if that's the only thing you need, and you'll get more capacity in storage. The default is no longer 64. So
Got it. Thanks.
That's
But
why
yeah.
when I decided to go with Apple, I didn't get a 15 because I figured for my purposes, the 13 would work for now. But I got the Pro Max to get the extra camera lenses.
But there is a website on their thing that you can compare and contrast the different models. So you can go, okay, I want to look at,
Right.
whatever model and compare the two and be like, oh, it's not a big enough difference that I want to upgrade or do. But if you're not doing what I'm doing with technology, it really doesn't,
Matter that much.
matter. It's not like you need to upgrade every year. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Of course, Bill's using an
Says
iPhone.
the person who upgrades
Every year.
David.
I noticed that too.
Again, I'm
were
doing different
busted,
things than
Lynn.
you.
But
Yeah,
David,
right.
you might want to look up if they've announced it, when the support for the 11 might the upgrade support might cease. Yeah.
Well, I have an XR. It's still updating that, and that's before 11. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you are shopping for a new phone, the best time to get it is right after they launched the newest model, which is usually in September. Because then the lower models are cheaper. Because there's just a new one, so there's discounts.
Great. Thanks.
Yep. So it looks like iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone X are no longer supported. So if you should, so yours will probably be in the next year or two that it will stop upgrading.
How about
If-
the XR?
Next week.
Yeah, probably.
Exactly.
I have an
Uh-huh.
SE, but I still get the updates. I guess it's the software updates.
Yeah, it still says that it's compatible with 7
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
with, yeah, so XR with 17. So it doesn't say when it will stop, of course, because but usually, they do a software update OS around the time they release a new phone. So that's usually in October, November. So you should be okay for another year. So keyword should. I put a disclaimer on
The
everything.
operative word.
Good, good.
Don't assume.
Tech
Read the
companies
tech
are
time
evil.
disclaimer.
Tech companies don't like to hide things and aren't very helpful sometimes. So
Hmm.
monopolies.
Right.
Great questions.
David, did I miss the memo that we're supposed to have a white shirt and tie on today?
You did. I got my Sunday go to meeting clothes on.
But it's Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Jeez.
But it's a meeting.
I actually have a Rotary meeting, so I'm trying to look sharp.
You do.
Yep. There's Matthew.
Very rarely wear a tie anymore, for sure.
Aw.